but I'm excited. Guys, welcome to the show, the F5 Report, where we talk about faith, family, fitness, friends, and finances to get us through these trying times and the times of COVID-19. Good morning. What are you going to come in the middle of my live show? You can come over and say hi to everybody. Got a little 7-year-old morning action. Say hi to the team. That's Maria. Can you say hi, Maria?
Hi, Maria.
All right. We got to make for some good radio here. I don't know if we can. You want to sit on my lap? You can. I'll interview Maria while you're on my lap. We can do that. How's that? All right.
Special guest.
You got to ask tough questions. Can you ask Maria tough questions? All right. And you got to look at this camera too, right? Because down here, there we go. All right. So if you guys are just joining us, Maria Quattrone on the phone today with us. Maria, one of the top brokers in the Philadelphia area, exciting, charismatic person. I mean, Maria, I remember meeting you. I'm probably going to put you on the spot, but probably 12 years ago at this point, and being scared out of my mind when I met you because you were such a dominant force in the office and so energetic. But I remember before I let you say anything to that, I remember thinking to myself, God, she's scary, but I want to be like her. She's crushing it. How is she doing all these sales? How is she the top producing broker in the office? And as I've gotten to know you throughout the course of the years, I realized you're all bark, right? Welcome to the show. Tell us about that.
Joe, thanks for having me this morning on this beautiful Friday. I'm excited. Get the day going. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'll tell you this. I've been doing a lot of deep personal development work. And before real estate and before the career I was in, before advertising sales, I really was a different human. The business world had, and being a strong woman, it was really hard. And, you put a protective gear on around you and it's like, before you know it, you're in like a bubble of protective gear. Right. So, and that's where comes like the toughness part, but I'm like very, quite the opposite of that internally. And
you are 100%.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
So we're working on like I call it like peeling the onion, taking the layers of the onion, or like a hard-boiled egg, soft-boiled egg. I know I got all these different analogies. I've been working on this for a while.
To be fair to the audience, that people don't know you, understand that I think that part of the bravado came from being really confident, and the confidence came from knowing your shit. The thing I've always respected about you is you're one of the best in the business for a reason, and it's not just because you're scary or intimidating to people. It's because you understand how to relate, you understand how to help people, you understand how to provide solutions. You've become that enigmatic person in the business because of I think the war stories that we're told and all that type of thing. But at the end of the day, you're doing it for your clients, right? You're doing it for your customers.
Yeah, I think that knowing your market, understanding how whatever business you're in, understanding how it works at a very high level and being able to bring it down in the details. Like right now, for example, I study every single day, every single property that's coming up online. Every active, every back to active, pending, settled, closed, active under contract, temporarily off the market, withdrawn, canceled, expired. And I'm watching the inventory, whether it's growing or it's contracting. And when are we going to see like a breaking point on it? And my prediction is that, you know what? Have you ever been to Rome, Italy?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever watched out the airport window and watched all the planes take off?
From Rome?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
I was 15 when I was there, so I had some other things in my mind. No, I haven't.
Well, so this is what happens in Italy, in Rome. A plane takes off every 60 seconds there, which is pretty, that's a lot of planes. So there's a lot of planes lined up. And right now, that's kind of how the real estate market is. The planes are lined up. We're lining up, ready to take off for when this lifts. There's going to be so much demand. We missed an entire spring market. And we're doing everything right now to be the solution for our clients. And so when takeoff happens, you go right down the runway and you're up. And I think there's going to be a lot of buyers that are just waiting for that to happen. Currently, right now, we are doing sales, believe it or not, virtually. Buyers are sending offers in our listings. We have 3D virtual tours on everything. We're walking people through people's houses on Zoom. This is like it's a whole new world, but
totally different, right? It's a 180 from where we were.
I've embraced it. I mean, here was my choice. I could be passive. I could do it alone. I could do it with others. And our team has really banded together, and helping each other and helping the clients get what they want. Now, listen, not everybody needs to make a move right now, but there are many people that really do for a variety of reasons. Death, divorce.
Let's touch base on the analogy you used, because I love it, because I heard so many people try to skew the data. The inventory, I heard at one point a couple weeks ago, the inventory is as low as it's ever been. I thought to myself, God, people are taking their houses off the market. That automatically will, they don't want people doing showings. They don't want to come through their house. In certain places, they're not allowed to. So, of course, the inventory is going to be as low as it ever has been, right? But I've not heard somebody say it in an optimistic fashion with that type of analogy that, look, people are going to be lined up. Buyers still need to buy houses. They're still qualified. Rates are still super low. They're ready to go as soon as somebody presses go, right? We're all going to jump back in. The listings will come up. The buyers will have great inventory. Do you think that the people who are, the first people back to the market when it's showable time, they're going to be the first ones likely to get offers and sell?
I do. I mean, that's why we're making sure that any seller of ours that wants to do something now, we're in a position to move forward. Some of them we're already replacing on the market active. And at least in an active status, it can be seen, it can be shown virtually. Listen, there's some agents showing. Sure, we will not do that because we won't risk our business for that, or 100%. Quite frankly, our lives. I mean, we don't, So, but there's so many things that can be done in advance to going live on the market. Most people, Joe, I don't know about you. I mean, I've been to your office. It's really clean. Your house is probably really clean too, but is it organized, ready to go to the market tomorrow if you needed to?
Oh, I couldn't sell my own house, and I'm a broker. I couldn't sell my own house. And my wife, is cleaning it every 24 hours right now, vacuuming.
Yeah, because we're all here making dirt. It's like dirty. Yeah. We can
the way you live in a home is not the way you sell a home, right? I mean, I've been saying that for a decade. I'm sure you say the same. You got to get it market ready. That takes some prep time.
It takes most people. Do you have a question?
Our mom won't let us get an RV, and yeah, we can't. We don't have enough money if we sell it. We still don't have enough money to buy an RV.
Quinn is on a business plan. So first of all, this is what happens when you work from home, folks. Right? You get your 7-year-old in your lap doing live interviews. Quinn's got this new business plan. Somehow she's figured it out. I don't want to take this entire interview off the rails, but she figured it out that I like to travel. My wife doesn't like to fly. So she's figured out that we need to buy an RV so we can travel in the RV. And she's got the whole business plan selling lemonade, how we're going to afford this RV.
Well,
so we don't have to.
Summer. That's in the summer when we have no more coronavirus.
No more coronavirus. That's right.
Yeah. And so people just can go to school, just have to wearing masks.
Just wear masks.
Not have be homeschooled all the time.
I got you. So she's got.
That was my first job, selling lemonade on the corner of my house in Northeast Philadelphia.
Did you hear that? She can give you lemonade mentor.
I was your age. I was selling lemonade and popcorn right outside on the corner.
What? Maybe we can get her to put up some cliff notes and give us some bullet points on the best methods. I know if Maria was selling lemonade, she was making 3 times as much as the local lemonade stand. I guarantee it.
By the way, one thing about the lemonade, you were in Florida, and
she's not in Florida. She's in Philadelphia. It's right across the bridge.
Oh, Philadelphia's the bridge is a little far from where we live, so. Yeah.
All right. Can you go grab breakfast? I'll be out in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Love you. All right, so let's get back to it. Sorry about that. So
love it.
Aside from lemonade stands, you were talking about getting people prepped for the market game.
Take 4 weeks.
Yeah.
On average.
Yeah, and you know what 4 weeks is about? It seems like,
especially with the family. If it's just 2 people, sometimes they can be ready in a couple weeks, just depending on what they have to do and how long they've been in their home. Some people that have been in their home 50 years, they may need 2 months to get ready. So we're Zooming. I will tell you, I Zoomed before from a business standpoint, right? Podcasts, things like that, virtual business meetings. I love Zooming with my clients.
Oh, yeah.
I told the staff yesterday, I said to everybody, listen, I know you're still doing phone calls and not everybody's doing Zoom. You have to do Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do it. And because I can see you, they can see me. We develop a bond, a relationship that you cannot get through the phone. That's why I do the videos, Joe, because I want to help people. I want them to see me, hear me, see the, emotion. And that's how, people right now, authenticity. They want you to be real with them. And
whether you're struggling or not, talk about it. We're all going through this thing at the same time, right? And one thing I'll add to that, it's not just for clients. Do it with your team. I'm on Zoom 16 times a day.
Oh, yeah. We have an 8 a.m. So we moved the 8 a.m. today to 11 because I'm here with you. We do an 8. I do a 1 o'clock touchdown with our sales folks. And then we do a wrap up at 5:30, which usually goes to 6:15. And then we still have work to do after that because there's stuff to do after the wrap up. I'm shutting down. I'm trying to shut down by 6:37. I cook dinner. You might see the food. I post it. We have some wine. I relax. Maybe I talk with somebody. I barely have been watching TV. I come back up. I do some more emails, check, let's see if anything else has come in that I need to respond to. And I'm in bed by 9:30, 10. Up again, first thing in the morning. I do a couple just some exercises to get my blood flowing. I have these weights right here in my office. I keep them up here. And every time I'm done a Zoom, I do some air squats and weights. It's not like a big deal, but I do it for 5 minutes between calls to keep myself, because I'm not used to sitting and my hips are hurting from it. So it's like, how can we just get some little bursts of energy and keep ourselves going and strong? And I drink water all day and I got either coffee or tea going. So
I started using this big old jug I've never used before because it helps me. And I don't have to go in and out of the car and drag it all over the place. So it's easy. It sits on my desk. Same thing with dumbbells.
Look, my husband brings this up this morning. He's like, here's your Yeti of coffee, black coffee. Yeah. And then he brought me 2 bottles of waters because he knows I get stuck up here and I might be stuck up here for hours and not get downstairs to get some liquid. I know a whole flight down the steps.
So speaking of relationships, you don't have to get too personal, but a lot of us are stuck in the house 24 hours a day with our spouses, right? And, I think for some people who maybe didn't like their spouse that much, this thing's making it a lot worse. And for those that really did love their spouse, I think that their relationship's getting even better because, how do you learn to deal with everybody's idiosyncrasies when you're literally attached to the hip all day long and trying to run a family for those that have kids and homeschooling and all that stuff? How has that changed for you and your husband, if you don't mind telling us how that's worked for you?
So I'll tell you this. I used to come home from work every day. Most days, by the end of the day, I'd be aggravated. That's the truth. With whatever nonsense that was happening from all the directions hitting me. I'd walk home from the office because I don't know, I'm at 21st and South. We live 5 blocks away. Yep. And I'd get home. I'd walk up the steps because our living room's on the 2nd floor. We have a garage on the 1st floor, so living room's above. And I would feel exhausted and kind of a little bit depressed, a little bit like worn out. And so my husband always had already started to cook dinner if we weren't already going out that night with, friends or clients or whatever, which I ate out about 50% of the time. So 50% of the time, you know, I'm gone from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. most days.
Yeah.
And so we would cook dinner, then we'd bring the dinner to the living room, and we have a low coffee table. So we eat on the coffee table and watch TV, Jeopardy, or no, Wheel of Fortune, because that's what's on by 7:30. Wheel of Fortune usually. And then we'd watch our shows or whatever and chat, and that's it. So since this has happened, we have been sitting at the dining room table every night, candles, music goes on. As soon as I'm done working, the Pandora goes on to whatever favorite music that I want to hear at that time. I'm cooking. He's the sous chef. I'm the chef. We get everything together, music, candles, no TV. And we went back even, and I'm embarrassed kind of to say this, but I'm going to say it because it's the truth. We went back. I grew up Catholic, praying church. We went back to saying grace. We were you know, giving thanks. I wake up. I already every morning wake up and I go from gratitude. But now it's even more from gratitude. It's more about appreciation because there are two different things.
Yeah.
And we've been doing great. I mean, you know, I have to like print. He runs to the office for me, gets checks, prints out papers. I don't have a printer here. He'll bring stuff back and forth for scanning. He has some other stuff that he has to do. And we're a great team. I'm really lucky. And he's lucky too, but I'm really lucky to have a great partner, and we're enjoying our time together. 100%.
That's awesome. You know, you talked about like early on not being able to control only the things we can control, and I think that this has forced so many of us to slow down and realize what it is that we can control. You know, how we react. You know, why we react the way we do. And I don't know if you found yourself doing this, but I found looking back on some of the stuff that would get me riled up, I look back and say, man, that was silly. Like, I don't know if I'm getting more mature during this whole thing, or, you know, maybe I just have less, what do you call it? Things that set me off, and, you know, things that change my, you know, less stimulus, I guess. Right.
Joe, I agree with you 100%. I was last night going through posts on Facebook from months ago, and I looked at some things and I felt feelings about some things that I wrote, and they weren't bad things or anything like that, but some of the things seem silly to me. And I think that perspective of many has changed. And really what people want for their life. In fact, I'm making moves to grow the company versus the opposite.
That's good to hear. It's good to hear. Tell us about that, because we're doing the same thing, and I love to see entrepreneurs doubling down when in that time of adversity. So, you know, what are you looking for? Agents? Are you looking for processors, team members, callers?
Yeah, I mean, everybody. You know, we didn't furlough anybody. And you know, there's so are we doing putting new deals under contract as we would be for April? No, of course not. That would be fantastic, but it's not reality because in order for buyers to buy online virtually, I'm sorry, it looks like I'm crying, but my allergies are so bad this morning. In order for buyers to buy virtually, there has to be a paradigm shift. And that takes some time. So think about it. The first 2 weeks we were stay at home. Really, the only thing that happened was the contracts that we had under contract, we were pushing to close to settlement virtually. So nothing else happened because people were in a state of shock, right? They were like, then, okay, now we deal with all the active clients. What do you want to do? Let me say, 2 listings out of, I don't know how many we have, a lot. 2 of them went TO, temporarily off the market. Every other person stayed on the market. So that was the next step.
Interesting. Okay.
Then the next step is calling our clients we work with. We work with a lot of clients for many, many years that we do a lot of business with because they're investors and developers. So calling all those people, and it's the conversation. Not even talk. Of course, they want to talk about real estate, but regular people may not. We don't bring it up.
Sure.
it's up to them, but it's there's the paradigm shift is really for the consumers and how they want to be able to buy. So people are starting to realize, well, this might be still a good time. Can I buy virtually? Because not a lot of people are out buying, meaning out on virtually, right? So what does that say? Spring market. If something comes up that makes sense, but put the offer in on it. Get them to Zoom through the house with the seller. Everybody can be on the Zoom. Literally, this is how I'm doing my virtual listing consults. They're walking through, and I'm saying, "Show me this." Okay, explain where this is in the house. How did we get to this spot? Right? Same thing they could do, but now they have an option. They have the potential to be the only offer. Whereas if you're trying to buy something, say in our area under 500, a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, where we live, it doesn't really exist. So if it comes up, and if it did, there's 5 offers. But now, so that's an opportunity, right? Where there's opportunity.
I love that. And guys, if you're just joining us, if you're at all in the real estate space, if you're a broker, an agent, an investor, a developer, anybody comment below, ask your questions. Maria Quattrone's with us, top producing broker in the Philadelphia tri-state area here. What you just brought up is really interesting, Maria. I want to touch on it for a second because a buddy of mine from Washington State, his name is Jeff Latham. You may have heard of him before, but I was in a conversation 2 years ago with Jeff, right? And he was doing this Zoom listing presentation thing at a high level. And I thought to myself, how the hell do you convince a seller to list with you, never meet you in person, do it over video chat, walk through the properties, he's dot looping over the listing agreement signature, and then he calls his photographer and sends him out to take photos. And I'm like, Jeff, that's crazy. But what's interesting about these times of adversity is they force us to get more effective. They force us to be more efficient, right? So here's this crazy idea that I don't think Jeff originated, but he definitely is doing it at a high level, that's now being utilized by top producing brokers who may never have thought about doing that otherwise.
Yeah, I love it. I am what people would call an extrovert introvert.
Okay. Tell us about that.
Well, I like to be out around people, but I'd rather walk into a room where there's less people than more people.
Oh, me too. I don't know anybody that wouldn't. There's a couple sick individuals that like to be in crowds, but it's not me. Okay,
so and I'm used to being there with people like one-on-one, right? So lunch, dinners, or a couple people, little grouping, clients, 2 partners, whatever. And so now I literally have only been out one time this whole time in the car. And it's because we drove to a friend's house, he's a client as well, but he's a friend. And we brought the sign that said Mazel Tov, happy birthday, Jack, because he had his bar mitzvah. And they were standing on their lawn in their Sunday best, all dressed up with big letters, Mazel Tov. Chip's driving the truck. I'm holding the sign out. And I'm like waving. He's like, oh, I could tell from his face. He was surprised that we were there in the caravan of 25 cars. After that, we stopped the car because I was in the back seat. I get in front. I immediately started to completely break down. And because I'm sad for the world. I'm sad for what has happened. But the only thing that I can control is how we're going to move forward. Me as a person and what I want to do for my life and what we need to do for our company so that we can help our clients get to what they need. And I say, listen, if you want or need to buy or sell right now, God darn it, let's do it. Right? Let's do it because we can do it for you. But if you don't, listen, if you don't, don't. But there's always, we have people moving from Maryland that they're moving because they're relocated for Boeing. We have people that are buying because they're relocating for a residency. Right? They have to be in a new
somewhere to live. Yeah, they're going to have to move somewhere, and they may be forced to do it completely virtually. But let's talk about the benefits.
100%.
They're still going to have a home inspection, right? They're still going to have a full appraisal. They still have all their contingencies. And on top of that, probably maybe a little bit more time than they normally would, right?
Yeah. So the appraisals, a lot of them are having drive-by. We have a photographer that has a waiver, an appraiser, a home inspector now that has a waiver. So we can facilitate transactions still. And we have also people cash and no inspection. So we're closing those files. If you have a piece of vacant land, we're writing offers on those. We're writing offers on investment property that has it's income producing, multifamily buildings, single family portfolios. So we're actually
just reminded me of a quadplex I need to send you after this call. But for those of you that are listening, guys in the Philadelphia area, if you have questions about this kind of stuff, reach out to Maria. She's easy to find on Facebook, online. Chris wants to know, do you believe Philly will move from a seller's market to a buyer's market when the city opens up again? I know you don't have a crystal ball, but what do you see?
Well, based on sheer inventory right now, I don't think it immediately will, because we only have about 3 months and it's declining when we should be in an inclining active inventory market. I do believe that people will, after this. Listen, I've been wanting to move for a year and a half. We just haven't been able to find the right property for us because I'm very specific about what I want. But I will tell you, I'm more now than ever dedicated to making that move, because I've been in my house now for however many days it is, and it doesn't have all the things that I want. I think you're going to find more sellers, either wanting to upsize, get a compound, maybe leave the city, or downsize and get a smaller home that they don't need the compound because they realize, oh my God, I really don't need all this. It's too much to take care of. Or the opposite, and I think it's going to take some time before inventory does climb. So
sorry about that.
I do think ultimately there will be a downward pressure on land prices by the end of the year, because the tax abatement is going from 10 years to 6.5 years after this year. So if you don't get a permit before the end of the year, you don't get that full tax abatement. I do think that there will be some downward pressure on properties like that coming up at some point. People have asked about the 10-year tax abatement, and City Hall has basically said that is the last thing you all should be worrying about.
Yeah, no kidding.
There's other problems, but that's what the questions are coming out. And I kind of have to agree with City Hall. It's probably should be lower on the totem pole.
Well, on top of that, people move every 5 to 7 years, right? So 6.5 should be enough to cover you for the most part.
I think there's more important things that we have to worry about right now, and that's getting people back to work safely. I think making sure that families have enough food to feed their family. I mean, Philadelphia especially is it's a very poor city for the most part. I mean, we live in Center City, which is the crown jewel of the city, but we work in areas that are outside of Center City. We cover the county and some of the the immediate suburban counties as well. So we see what's going on in the county, and we have to be open-minded that there's so much more poverty that's going to come from this, and unless we can take action quickly and responsibly to get people back to work, we're going to see some big problems, coming down.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. There's 22 million unemployed applications. It's just I know a lot of people are hurting, and I want to make sure that those that maybe know someone who knows someone, reach out to me, reach out to Maria. We are both actively engaged in trying to help people inside the communities, and it can be completely anonymous. I think that one of the biggest challenges when you go from a place of prosperity to this, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen thing. I think people, their egos kind of kick in, and they're afraid to admit it, and they don't want to, lift their hand and say, I need help. So do it anonymously, guys. I mean, if you need things like that, just message someone like Maria, like myself.
Yeah, we're happy to help. I mean, we'll send food orders out, anything that we can do. It's really, it saddens me, this part of it. This is, most people aren't well capitalized to go through not working, not receiving money for a couple months, but at least the federal government is giving out a lot of unemployment, PPP money. Even for independent contractors, they can sign up through PUC, which is something that they never could do before. I know some people, it does still.
Oh, and she's back.
But they're still, at least they're doing something. So,
well, to end it on a bright note, I want to be respectful of your time. It is 8:30. We have here an entrepreneur who's continuing to keep the doors open, who's fighting through this thing, who's got her employees being paid each and every week. I think that there's a lot to be said about that, Maria, and I think that's why you're a leader of your community. And I appreciate you coming on here today to talk about the state of the industry and what you got going on. Where can people reach you?
Yeah, they can reach me at, they can email me at maria@callmq.com. They could also Facebook Messenger me. I answer those. They can call at 215-607-3535. That's our office number, but they'll patch right, over to me. Awesome. Or they can send me a text at 215-694-3903 is my cell.
Awesome.
Joe, I love talking to you. I love your energy. You're always a positive, a lighthouse, as I like to say. And nice. I thank you and really enjoyed being with you today.
Yeah, same here, Maria. Absolutely. It was awesome. Guys, as you know, all we care about is if you find value today in this video, just share it with your friends, send them a messenger, share on your Facebook wall. We're just trying to get the word out. This show happens every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. with rock star performers like Maria coming in here, giving us the light, giving us the energy, giving us the positivity to push forward, and always here to help. So Maria Quattrone, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.